Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you some more Torchlight 2 and a tip and trick on the Engineer. Now, what I've been noticing with the Engineer, he is almost a perfect class for multiplayer. And having one on your team is a very advantageous thing to choose, and to have a guy like that. What I've noticed is the fact that I like first things first, I like playing ranged. I just like that. Honestly, close combat, there's other tactics, but this is more of a defensive helping out your teammates. And what I've noticed is that the stomp ability to do damage and kind of help out and clear out the area, and the little medical bot that you can create is very helpful and very, very useful for your whole team. Even if you play by yourself, it's very useful in and of himself, because I've noticed that the little healing bot that you get, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And honestly, after the first tier, he not only heals health, he also heals mana. And something I feel that seems to be a very important and good thing to do and use. Now the stomp does fire damage, pushes him back, kind of gives a little space. And the other thing I've noticed was that a force field shield that you can use. And that force field shield that I've noticed seems to be very, very good and helpful to pretty much extend your life. And the more points you put into it, the more it's helpful. It can help you out. And also, the shield is 100. Each time you put more points into it, it can receive more damage. And when you have that force shield, the force field or the shield, I forgot the exact name of it, but when you have that bubble, it also can it puts force field over you and 50% on your ally. 50% of the damage it can receive on your allies. Now, the more points you put into it, you'll get 100% shielding and on your allies and be able to absorb more. And honestly, it also works for your pets. So pretty much, you have one of these guys with your allies, and you pop it really close to these guys, you can pretty much add almost like a extra 100 some odd points of health damage that can be redone every, I'm gonna say 10 or so seconds. Yes, the more you use it, the more it's gonna, the more points you put into it, the more power it's gonna take from your mana pool, and the more cooldown. But as a whole, that's a very, very, I feel, very powerful effect that you can use as a team. Now, honestly, and this is I'd say an early build to use and choose. Is it the only build? No, it's not. But it's a build that I found to have a lot of fun with, the ability to mess around, and there's no 100% right build, 100% wrong build. I like using. There's also a close combat one that I'm not talking about because I honestly don't have the data right in front of me of myself to get it right, and I don't want to give any misinformation. I want to do my best information and help out anyone who's playing this. Now, honestly, this game is a whole beautiful art style, very great game to introduce new players and honestly, people who are Diablo fans alike. It may be made. Yes, it was made by some of the original teams from Diablo 1 and 2 that left Blizzard, but as a whole, very fun, very good, and very fun game and whatnot. And honestly, it's very easy to pick up. You may need to help people with their item management, but that's all. I mean, that's the extent. If anyone needs help, that's the only area that I found out you needed help with. But that's what I was going to say, is that honestly, if you're going to do a ranged class, I found out, and I feel this works very well, and I feel it will work well for others, is that the stomp ability, the healing bot, and the force field, because it allows you to absorb a ton of damage and still pretty much be effective and also be a massive team player, because that healing bot, healing your allies, helping people out like that does a lot of help. Even though it pulses out every so many seconds, it is a very useful thing to use, a useful advantage, because it kind of tones down on the amount of healing potions and mana potions that you'll need. And the more points you put into it, the more enjoyment you can have from it. Now, honestly, I play as a passive defensive player, so that's the reason why that works for me. Now, the other thing is the other points boost that you should be putting into is bulk work, which pretty much increases your defense and durability. And honestly, this is just a little light one. Now, if you want to do more damage, you can easily put points into the bots that attack or the spider mines. I would probably, I don't like doing it, but if you're going to be an aggressive one, I would suggest the spider mines, because they'll swarm in and kill the thing, and I feel it's a lot better to have, pretty much it's almost like having a grenade or a power-up attack to do that. And I feel that if you're going to be a little more aggressive and using more of your using the bots style, you can do that. And honestly, that is pretty much a basic tip and trick that I feel works very good with I feel a more passive long-range engineer. Mainly because the healing bot will heal you and your allies in a certain radius, and it increases with it, but most time you're going to be up close together, and you're going to be healing your bots, your allies, and your pets. With the snap, clears out the room, kind of spreads it out, makes it a little more easier to breathe. The force field shield, perfect for pretty much durability. The more you put into it, points you put into it, the more damage the shield can take, and the better shields it can give you and your allies. And honestly, if you want to be a little more aggressive, I would suggest the spider mines, mainly because they'll charge after them and do significant damage. So you can use that as a clear out attack. Pretty much the bot will be with you until you move to the next area. So pretty much every time you hop in your bot, and if you get overwhelmed, before you get even overwhelmed, you throw out your spider mines, hit your stomp, and that alone should do significant damage. And if you and your force field, and if you're with a bunch of people, I mean, literally, when you work with a ton of people together, that alone will just be dealing so much damage and putting so much, putting a massive hole and dents into the enemies that you'll need not worry. And honestly, I hope this has helped. I'm going to be talking about some other things, so honestly, tips and tricks. Please still stay and listen, because this is going to be about Far Cry 3. Now, honestly, from what I've been hearing and looking at and trying to find and trying to contact, it looks like that demo / little thing that they were going to give it a quick little multiplayer tour is not going to happen. Now, it very well could happen in the fact that the information I've been trying to contact with them and whatnot, and the stuff, maybe the fact that they're just trying to just dismiss it, but it looks like that beta demo, whatever thing that they did for it, is not going to happen. I'm saddened about that because I feel the game is going to be a good game from what I've seen and whatnot. It looks like a very good game. It looks like pretty much Far Cry 2 with a little more refined. And honestly, Far Cry 2 is pretty fun, but it does have the downside of being an open world, and you're going to be driving from spot to spot. The characterization, they did seem to have created a very, very, very good villain. Knowing how they seem to have learned that you need to have a overarching villain to make everyone kind of hate the character and kind of push the reason why, oh, this is good. And also with the stomp effect, it also stuns your enemies. I forgot to say that. But as you can, but that was it with Far Cry. It looks like the demo has been canceled. They're not going to do it. And if they magically do it, don't call me a liar. Don't call me I've given you misinformation. It's from what I've been able to piece together. Any information I've been getting is been most likely. This kind of says we're still thinking about it, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. And if it magically happens, good. I'll try to get you this information. I was trying to get it, but it didn't seem like it was going to happen. But honestly, as a whole, those are the biggest things for right now that I have to say. That honestly, I feel Far Cry is going to be an underappreciated gem of a first-person shooter, mainly because it chose the wrong time it come out. It should have come out before Medal of Honor. It would have been perfect right before Medal of Honor, because honestly, Medal of Honor doesn't seem to be holding that well. It seems like a very decent, competent game, nothing wow, it's exceptional. It just seems to be a very good, decent, competent game, which is honestly, it's a sad thing to say that honestly it's competent. Honestly, it seems like a death kiss more than that it's bad. It's more like it's not memorable. But honestly, going on from that, all these things these are the tips and tricks. And also, I hope you've enjoyed. Please tell me what you think. I hope this has helped, and I'd like to say thank you and good night.